Hey there, Detroit sports fanatics. I'm Taylor Phillips, and welcome to Taylor's Detroit Sports on Spreaker. You can also find this and all other episodes of Taylor's Detroit Sports on iHeartRadio. Straight and full Detroit and Michigan sports coverage 100% of the time. If you have any opinions on everything that's going on in the Detroit sports world, call in or send a text message live on the show at 231-429-3668. Also, you can add me on Facebook as Taylor Phillips, online at facebook.com/TaylorGatorPhillips14. Like my Facebook page, Taylor Phillips' Detroit Sports page. Join my Facebook group, Taylor Phillips' Detroit Sports Group. And follow me on Twitter at DT2Phillips with 2 L's.
And this is episode 121. Live and recording for archive. No Joe Buck haters allowed on this episode. I will try to keep this as professional as I can. But if anybody trolls about the announcers on my episode, it'll be their fault and not mine. Just so they know. Packers beat the Lions 30-20 to win the NFC North Division Championship. Packers went up 14-0. After turning the ball over on downs, Micah Hyde with a punt return touchdown. After that, and then let's see here. Who scored that touchdown again? Let me look at the Score mobile app here. Randall Cobb with a 4-yard touchdown reception with 2:24 left in the second quarter. Then Calvin Johnson put the Lions on the board. With a 20-yard reception with 24 seconds left. Then he got another touchdown reception to tie it from 4 yards out with 7:34 left in the third quarter. Randall Cobb put the Packers up back up 21-14 with a 13-yard reception. That was a second touchdown reception of the day. Aaron Rodgers left the game during the first Cobb touchdown reception from 4 yards out. But he returned after the Lions tied the game. And then after the second Cobb touchdown, Joyke Bell fumbled the ball, and the Packers made the Lions offense pay by capping as their offense capped off an Aaron Rodgers 1-yard touchdown run, pending further review. With 8:45 left in the game, they went up 28-14. Then they got a safety, which I missed. A lot were disputing the call. Some thought the referees had it right, made the right call. But either way, it was 30-14 from there. The Lions would try to come back with a touchdown pass from 6 yards out to Theo Riddick, craving Theo Riddick. That made it 30-20. The Lions went for 2, and Joyke Bell appeared to have a touchdown, but the ball never crossed the plane when his rear end hit the turf short of the goal line. The referees reviewed it and correctly overturned the call, the touchdown call, the 2-point conversion call. And that was it. The Lions tried an onside kick, but the Packers recovered. And the Lions defense never stopped the Packers from running the ball so far from there. And the Packers sealed it 30-20 to clinch the NFC North Championship. Joyke Bell has fumbled the ball 5 times this season. This is actually a rare occasion because he has done a great job running the ball this season. But he made a costly mistake, and the rest was history. So the Lions still haven't beaten the Packers at Lambeau Field since 1991. Matthew Stafford finished the game 20 of 41, passing for 217 yards and 3 touchdown passes. Had a passer rating of 89 flat. With that defeat, the Lions are now the number 6 seed in the playoffs and a road team the rest of the way. They will play the Cowboys in Dallas next weekend in the Wild Card Divisional playoff game series. The Wild Card Divisional playoff round. And if the Lions win, that they will play the Packers at Lambeau Field again, because they are the lower remaining seed. The 6th spot is the lowest seed in the conference, the lowest playoff seed in the conference. What I think of the game, the offensive line was terrible as always this season, and not even Joe Lombardi can coach them. Nobody can. It's time for the offensive line to retool after the Lions are done with their playoff run. Also, too many missed tackles on defense, and at least a few of Stafford's throws were way off the marks. He was hit. He was also hit a few times, but that's on the offensive line. They have to protect Stafford way better. They have to do a much better job protecting Matthew Stafford. Again, I am not allowing anybody to troll about the announcers, to flame out on the announcers. The announcers don't... The announcers are never on the field, just in the booth. Just talking and calling the action. They're not mystical wizards or anything that cast a spell on a team. That's delusionality if you think so. If you think they are. Going over to NFL.com and looking at the playoff schedule. Playoff schedule is set. It will be on Sunday at 4:40 on Fox. And of course, Joe Buck and Troy Aikman will be there. So if you don't like listening to them, mute it. Just simply mute it and listen to Dan Miller and Jim Brandstatter on the radio while watching them in the process. It's just a valuable tip. Looking at the rest of the NFL playoff schedule. Saturday at 4:35, the Arizona Cardinals visit the Carolina Panthers on ESPN. In the other half of the NFC Wild Card Divisional playoff round. In the first half of the AFC Wild Card Divisional playoff round at 8:15 on NBC. Either the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Indianapolis Colts. If the Cincinnati Bengals win, if the Steelers win, then they will host the Baltimore Ravens in that game. And in the other AFC, Wild Card Divisional playoff game at 1:05 on Sunday, the Ravens take on the Bengals in Cincinnati if the Bengals win. And if the Steelers win, the Bengals will visit the Indianapolis Colts on CBS. Now that game that 1:05 game will be televised on CBS. If tonight's game finishes in a tie, Indianapolis will host Baltimore on Saturday at 8:15 on NBC, and Cincinnati will host Pittsburgh Sunday at 1:05 on CBS. Speaking of the NFL, Jim Harbaugh and the San Francisco 49ers have mutually parted ways. Now he has to sign his big contract for 6 years worth $48 million to become the new head coach of the Michigan Wolverines football team in college football. Because yesterday sources have reported it's a done deal, but not signed yet. But it's a done deal. With that, Harbaugh can lead Michigan to a Big Ten championship and a bowl victory. He can also develop NFL players in the college football level. Elite NFL players, especially. Jim Harbaugh's purpose with athletic director Jim Hackett is to make an elite college football program. The first since Bo Schembechler in the 80s. Moving on to the Pistons. They rocked the Cleveland Cavaliers at Quicken Loans Arena tonight, 103-80. They hit 17 threes, 17 three-point shots. It was a season high or a franchise high. I can't remember that yet. I will look at the Bleacher Report app. By the way, the NFL reportedly expected to review Ndamukong Suh stepping up on Aaron Rodgers' leg. I thought it was completely unintentional because Suh was only trying to back up against another Green Bay Packers player. And the 17 three-pointers recording is indeed a franchise record, as Brandon Jennings led led Detroit in scoring with 25 points. Kevin Love led the Cavs with 20 points. The Cavs were up 15 after the Pistons led 7-5 early on. Then the Pistons came back with a 27-6 run through halftime, and they just kept rolling. They never looked back. They never let the Cavs back in the game. And LeBron James was playing too. The Cavaliers were coming unglued, and the Pistons were just playing a lot more consistently. They are a big fat 2-0 since they traded Josh Smith. Since they waived Josh Smith, and he signed with the Houston Rockets. What a difference that makes. The Pistons are playing much more like an elite NBA team without Josh Smith. I know Detroit Sports Podcast tweeted to me that the Pistons should have let Smith go earlier. But I tweeted back to them and told them that the Pistons are bound for a comeback season after starting 3-19 and 5-23. They're still in 13th place in the Eastern Conference, but they are threatening to climb. They're already threatening to climb out of the Sutters. Indian Major League's Indians announcer Harry Doyle would say in the movie Major League. And I would encourage you all to watch the movie Major League and simultaneously think that the Pistons' potential comeback, is just like that. This is a completely different Pistons team compared to the 04 NBA Championship Pistons. In 04, they had Ben Wallace, Tayshaun Prince, Richard Rip Hamilton, Chauncey Billups, and Rasheed Wallace, and head coach Larry Brown and Mehmet Okur and Darko Milicic and all that stuff, and Corliss Williamson. In today's world, they have Andre Drummond, Brandon Jennings, Greg Monroe, Kyle Singler, Jonas Jerebko, Jody Meeks, Cartier Martin, Caron Butler, Anthony Tolliver, who wasn't active in the game today. I'm sure he'll be active next game. They also have Joel Anthony on their team. Pistons' next game is in Orlando on Tuesday. Their last game of 2014. Tuesday at 7 on Fox Sports Detroit and on Detroit Sports 105.1. WMGC-FM HD1 Detroit, Royal Oak. online at DetroitSports1051.com and on the Detroit Sports 105.1, the Detroit Sports 105.1 mobile app, and on TuneIn Radio on Detroit Sports 105.1. Then they tip off 2015 with a game on Friday at 7:30 in New York at Madison Square Garden against the Knicks. Then they return home Sunday at 6 against the Sacramento Kings. The Pistons will definitely crush the Sacramento Kings. The Pistons beat the Knicks last time. They defended Carmelo Anthony well. They won 98-95 when they had Josh Smith on their team. That was one of the first 3 wins of the season. That was actually their first win of the season, actually. So on to college hockey. The Great Lakes Invitational started earlier today at Joe Louis Arena, home of the Detroit Red Wings, and the first semifinal took place between the Michigan Wolverines and the Michigan Tech Huskies. Might add school. And the Michigan Wolverines won 2-1. Cutler Martin scored the game's opening goal, 6:28 into the second. Into the second period, I think. No, that was in the first period. Michigan led 1-0 in the first period. That was 6:28 into the period. Cutler Martin scored for Michigan. Michigan Tech tied it 3 minutes later on an aggressive pinch by Huskies defenseman Riley Sweeney, keeping the puck in the Wolverine zone and keeping the pressure on. Sweeney streamed down from his blue line position to win a race to a loose puck along the boards near the hash marks. Sweeney moved the puck into the corner where Tanner Caro passed to his line mate Alex Patan. Near the face-off dot to the left of Racine, Patan one-touch passed the puck over to Macomb Gold, who took a one-timer from the weak side to finish off a tic-tac-toe sequence and score a goal. Then in the third period, the Wolverines untied it, courtesy of Zach Hyman, and went up 2-1, and that's how it stood. That goal was apparently scored on the power play after a 3-on-2 odd man rush when Cristobal Nieves drew a penalty on Auk. And then in semifinal number 2, the Michigan State Spartans shut out the Ferris State Bulldogs 2-0 in semifinal number 2 of the GLI. So it'll be Michigan and Michigan State for the GLI Championship. For like, I don't know how many times. I'm looking forward to that one. Jake Hildebrand stopped all 31 shots on goal, in addition to his team's 20 blocked shots. Brett Darnell scored one of the Spartan goals. The first one occurring at 3:35 into the second period. And then Thomas Ebbing would add an empty net goal in the final minute of the game. To seal a 2-0 victory for MSU. So also, in other words, the Huskies and Bulldogs will take out one another in the consolation game, the GLI consolation game at 3:30. And then it'll be the Wolverines and Spartans at 7. That'll take place, both games will take place on Fox Sports Detroit Plus. Just like the semifinals were televised on Fox Plus tonight. So tune in, check cable or satellite listings. Speaking of hockey, the Red Wings take on the Boston Bruins tomorrow night at 7 on Fox Sports Detroit. Season series breakdown by NHL.com correspondent Matt Kalman. Headlining Bruins may be shorthanded against the Red Wings. The Boston Bruins and Detroit Red Wings have split their prior two meetings, with Detroit winning 2-1 on opening night on October 9th, and Boston winning 3-2 in a shootout October 22nd. Both games were played in Detroit. Red Wings forward Gustav Nyquist had 2 goals in the 2 games. Red Wings team scope: after going winless for a 6-game stretch, 0-2-4, the Red Wings will look for their 3rd straight win. It would appear that the more the Red Wings avoid the shootout, the better off they are. All 4 losses in the 6-game stretch came in the shootout, and they are 1-7 in shootouts this season. Goaltender Jimmy Howard returned to the lineup in a 3-2 overtime win against the Ottawa Senators on Saturday after a groin injury absence, making 31 saves. Nyquist scored the game-winning goal against Ottawa after possessing the puck for 28.4 seconds alone in the final minute, and had 3 assists in the Red Wings' 6-3 win against the Buffalo Sabres the game before that on December 23rd. One of the 3 assists being a nice, nifty behind-the-back backhand pass to Riley Sheahan, setting up Tomas Tatar's first of 2 power play goals in the 3rd period. I'm just getting word that Red Wing prospect Dylan Larkin just tallied 3 points, 2 goals, 1 assist in USA's 6-0 win over Germany in the 2nd game of the World Juniors. Good for them. Now the Bruins team scope. The Bruins are in the unusual position of being outside the Eastern Conference playoff picture in this time of year. They had their two-game winning streak snapped by the Columbus Blue Jackets in a 6-2 loss, an ugly one, on Saturday. That was last night. Just when it seemed like the Bruins were getting healthy, they didn't have forwards Patrice Bergeron or Milan Lucic for practice on Sunday. According to Coach Claude Julien, both players are day-to-day and their availability won't be determined until Monday. I'm assuming both Lucic and Bergeron will not play, but we'll have to see. The Bruins offense continues to struggle as they rank 21st in the NHL with 2.53 goals per game. Ouch! Wings Bruins 7 o'clock. FSD 97.1 The Ticket in Southfield in the Detroit area. WXYT FM HD1 Detroit with Ken Cal and Paul Woods. Ken Daniels and Chris Osgood on the call. Unless Mickey Redmond gets called back in Boston. Apparently, Chris Osgood was in Ottawa, so I'm assuming he'll be in Boston. He'll be with Ken Daniels in Boston as well. I'm going to shift over to Blog Talk Radio now. This concludes episode 121 of Taylor's Detroit Sports on Spreaker. Thanks for tuning in, downloading, and listening to this podcast. I will talk to you in about 10 minutes. TTFN, ta-ta for now.